And I think you can hear me. If you might be able to hear me now. I'm seeing something coming up anyway. It worked last week and I didn't have to do anything, but new computer, new settings and things like that, I think. Shouldn't be on here. Oh, you can hear me now. Oh, cool. Maybe I will stay on. I was just about to jump off. Oh, it's always something with this. Let me just get that screen back up. Oh, shouldn't be on here. Oh, you can hear me now. Oh, cool. Maybe I will stay on. I was just about to jump off. Oh, it's always something with this. Alrighty, let me just start again. So, oh, it's always something with this. Group 1. Alrighty, let me just start again. So, oh, it's always something with this. Group 1. Alrighty, let me just start again. Oh, it's always something with this. Volume turned on where, like, on my computer now too. I didn't realise I could turn it on and off, and that sounded like it was just glitching out and I was repeating myself 100 times. Sounds really funny, but anyway. Yeah, and then we have group 2, the salmon, and this shiny stone. This shiny stone, which I believe is a sunstone of some description. Probably a black one, I'd say, or green. I thought it was green under the electric light last night, but in daylight it doesn't look like that. It's black. So there you go. And then we've got the boar. That's group 3, and the lace agate. So without further ado, because I've been here for hours trying to fix this up, I think I will just come along and get on with this. The group 1, I'll pop this up here. Hopefully you can see it. I've got a bit of a delay on the screen, so it's hard for me to see if it's in the right spot or not. So group 1, the owl. Now I'm just going to read out of the book for this one, and then I'm going to actually pull the cards, because I didn't pull any cards other than those ones last night. I just thought I'd do it in the reading instead. So where is the owl? The beast, the otter, the salmon. Where are you? Okay, the owl. Despite the fact that the owl is considered a bird of ill omen amongst the Celts, or among the Celts, it also possesses a strong association with wisdom and with transformation. As a night hunter with eyes which can see in the dark, it is also a creature of the underworld, and as such can be a powerful ally in journeys made into this world. Let's have a look. So yeah, I feel like just sort of a beginning message here, the owl energy coming through. So there's wisdom, but it's also sort of very transformative. It's also being able to see through the dark, like see through the shadow kind of energy. And let me think, what else is coming through? I'm just going to pull some more cards first, and then we'll get a proper message. Well, not proper message, but you know what I mean. More of a message, a deeper message, the way the way to put it. So let's have a look here and see what the Work Your Light Oracle has to say in conjunction with the owl. Incidentally, one of my spirit guides is an owl called Glimmerwing. So I don't really associate owls with being a bad omen. It's something I've never really heard of before, except for in this Celtic Oracle book. So yeah, it's interesting. The owl. I always think of them as being very wise and very sort of like stoic in a way, I guess. They just kind of sit there and watch a lot. Have a check here and see. Come on. I want them. They won't give me a card. Can I have a message for group 1, please? Come on. I need to knock. Perhaps I need to knock the deck. Let me just check this. Restricted? What? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Sorry, I'm looking at my comments settings and I'm wondering why it's restricted, because there's nothing really that I care about restricting. Okay, that's cool. Excellent. Glad to see that it's perfect now. Sometimes the screen just doesn't it just doesn't scroll up, so I missed the comments. Okay. Oh, here we go. Two have finally jumped out. 3 have finally jumped out. I think we'll just take the first one, which is take a break, a life's work, not a season. Got off the treadmill. So I feel like with this one, I'll try and pop it in front of the camera. It's hard to see if I've got it in the right spot, because there is a bit of a delay with the video. So there we go, take a break. You can see that card. Yeah, so I feel like the message coming through here is it's sort of like having the wisdom to know when to stop when it comes to like work or doing things, or you know, I feel perfectly called out right here. So it's like what you're doing is something that's a long-term thing. You don't have to keep at it all the time when you're tired and all of that sort of stuff. It says get off the treadmill, so I feel like you might be feeling how can I put it, sort of, you know, like a bit worn out, a bit worn thin. I had this message sort of song in my head earlier, because I've been kind of feeling that myself, a bit like it's a bit like Gollum, if you know Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It's sort of like his soul has worn thin over the years of using this magic ring. And then it's an Alice in Chains song, and it's just like this. Oh, is it Alice in Chains, or is it maybe it's Stone Temple Pilots? I don't know. It's an old song from the grunge era of the 90s. It's like too much tripping and my soul's worn thin, and I was like, yeah, that sounds exactly kind of how I felt for the last week or so. It just sort of feels like being pulled so thin, like your soul being pulled so thin that you're just exhausted, and you know, body aches and all of that sort of stuff. You just kind of don't feel, you feel worn out, burnt out, like giving up on things, and all that kind of stuff. And I have actually heard or had a lot of people kind of reporting this to me and saying that they felt like that, or they're just like fed up and got to the end of their tether with a certain situation or something like that. So yeah, this message is coming through pretty loud and clear. It's about having the wisdom, like seeing something as a more long-term thing, and therefore not having to hurry, not having to push, not having to sort of constantly grab at it or push at it or push yourself to do it or to push yourself to be in it, because it's not going anywhere. So it's time to take a break and like replenish yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna grab some more cards now. Which ones shall I use? That's my next question. My eyes landed directly on this deck, if you can see that one. So the magical messages on the fairies, so that's what we'll do, is we'll get some magical messages from the fairies. Let's have some messages for group 1 from the magical messages from the fairies. I might just tilt this camera just the tiniest bit. And my head's saying, why are you doing that? You probably make the whole thing stop working. That's a bit too far. Okay, you don't want to see me, you can see the cards. Alright, there we go. Hopefully that's, yeah, so you can, no, now we're back to where we were. It's very very sensitive. Yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty good. It's as good as it's gonna get, I reckon. Yeah, so let's see some messages from the fairies as far as, oh, look at that. It comes up with holiday. So yeah, definitely time to take some time out for yourself to, you know, nourish yourself, to stop kind of trying so hard. That's what they're saying to me, and I know that sounds, it doesn't sound great, but like, it's like there's something in your life and you're just putting so much effort into it that it's just tired you out. This is something I found that sort of came up through twin flame journey for me. It was very much so you end up, because you're always kind of focusing on it, you're always like, it's always there, and you kind of don't give yourself a break because you're obsessed in a way. It's not obsession, well sometimes it is, but it's just this constant energy interplay and this checking in on things and kind of, you know, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? That kind of energy in a way, and I feel like that's sort of a bit of an energy coming through. It might not be obviously with a twin flame, or, you know, in a relationship, it could be to do with work or life purpose or anything like that, right? But basically what it is this need for you to take a break. That's the message that's coming through. So time to take a break. I'd say just, you know, step back and rest as much as you can. If you can see me wriggling around in the background, it's because I'm cold. Putting some warm clothes on. Which is strange because it's actually quite hot here today, but I had a bath before I started, a salt bath, before I started the readings, and now my hair's wet and I'm sitting in the air conditioning and it's cold. So I'm just trying to find a way to keep myself a little warm. I got a jacket here. Alright, maybe this will work. Okay, there we go. Lucky I'm sitting right next to my closet. Yeah, so the answers you're looking for will come or can be found during a vacation, retreat, or holiday getaway. So perhaps it's like, this is the feeling I'm getting from this, or the energy I'm getting from this, is like that whole thing is like, oh, I think it's Albert Einstein or someone like that, some real smart dude, who said, he's like, well, credited with quoting, when I think 1,000 times I don't get an answer, but as soon as I stop thinking, the answer comes to me. It's a bit like that. That's what I'm feeling. It's sort of like, whatever it is that you're seeking, whatever it is that you're working with or working on at this particular time, the best way to get the answers or to get the result that you want is to actually step back and just focus on yourself and have a little holiday, have a little, you know, getaway, retreat, whether it's going away somewhere, because sometimes a change of scenery can give you different perspectives on things, or maybe just staying home and just not engaging in whatever situation or thought pattern or whatever it is that this is about. So yeah, cool. We will grab another card from here, I think. Get some more messages from the fairies. For group 1, please. Ooh, hang on, what have we got? We've got 2 cards popped up now. Alright, perfect timing is the next one we have. This is the right... I'm reading this upside down, by the way. This is the right time for your move, for you to move forward. Sorry, I can actually read, it's just that the card's upside down. Yeah, so this is the right time for you to move forward. Okay, so moving away from one thing, which is wearing you out, whether it's work or something like that. It's like sort of, I feel like with the owl as well, is seeing through what it is that you've been putting so much effort into, and understanding that stepping back is the right thing to do right now. So it's gonna, it'll be perfect timing for things to change for you. And then we have birthday, and all of these cards have this dark blue, what would you call it, dark blue colour around them. So it's kind of giving me indigo colour, indigo feelings. I know it's not quite indigo, but like sort of something deep emotional, something you feel very deep about, or deeply about, probably would be the better word for it. Yeah. So, and the birthday, so there's a significant birthday that holds an answer to your question. This could be like, you know, a child, one of your children's birthdays, or your birthday, or someone else that you're, you know, like that you're connected with in family or relationships, their birthday. It's a significant birthday, so it could be like, you know, a 50th or a 21st or something like that as well. Maybe you will go away to attend a party for a birthday or something like that and get this new perspective, or come to an understanding that it's time to step back from certain things, whatever those certain things are. I'm sure you know. Ooh, that's unusual. Okay. Must be doing some heart center clearing, I think. That's usually what happens when I start to get into something else. Oh, there goes one of the crystals. Oh well. We will just have to make do without it because I'm not climbing under the desk. Where are we? Let me have a look here. Grab the Moonwitch Oracle cards and see what you've got coming up for group 1. An interesting message. We're very drawn to saying, or guided, I'm very guided to say that this is kind of like, it's a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a trick to manifestation and things like that, or, you know, co-creation, is you put a lot of energy into something for a while to perpetuate that motion, to perpetuate that energy, but then it's time to step back and you don't like keep doing it. So yeah, it's just an interesting way of looking at it. Okay, can we get some messages for group 1? Thank you. Oh, that one wanted to pop up. So Moonflower is bloom even if no one is watching. Bloom even if no one is watching. What does that say in relation to this other message? I feel like that really kind of sits in with what I was just saying, is sometimes you have to know when to stop. Otherwise it's sort of like, you know, you put a seed in the soil and you water it every day, but you have to know when to stop watering it, because if you overwater it, it will just kind of, you know, get waterlogged and die. It won't work. It won't grow. So it's kind of the same energy here. It's like time to stop watching or micromanaging or something like that, because things will bloom even if you're not watching them. There you go, that ding in the background, that's confirmation of what I just said. It's funny when that happens. Let's have some more messages for group 1, please. Stop yawning now. Alrighty, there we go. Diana, be one with nature. Yep, so maybe you need to take some time out in nature. I always find, and I think most people do, that when you step away from your, you know, all the stuff that we do at home these days, we're all on computers, on phones all the time. We've got this constant barrage of, like, you know, it's basically like, talk to me kind of thing. I need your attention. No, I need your attention. Messages all night and day if you don't turn your phone off. All of that kind of stuff. It feels really like it can wind you right up, whereas if you're in nature and you just take time out and you don't look at your phone, or you leave it, you know, somewhere else for 15-20 minutes, and just sit there and connect with the sounds of, you know, real earth, it brings you back to you know, a bit more of a simple time, a bit more of a simple and less sort of complicated feeling of yourself, within yourself. So yeah, being one with nature. I'm seeing a lot of nature in these cards, actually. Got the owl, we've got the beach here, so maybe go on a holiday to the beach and spend time listening to the sea. That's a really good way to unwind, and so many people love that. This next card we have here is Witch's Hat. Express yourself, share your gifts with the world. That's interesting. So not focusing on one thing anymore, but focusing on, you know, sharing your gifts with other people, with the world. and expressing yourself. So yeah, interesting. A few more messages from this oracle deck, which is oracle deck, and then I'll grab some tarot cards. Alright, we have one. Trust. The universe has a plan for you. Okay, yeah, this is sort of going back to what we were talking about with these cards up here, especially these particular ones, is that at a certain point, trusting is more conducive to making things happen than trying to kind of, you know, manipulate the energy and all of that sort of stuff. You just have to sink into yourself, let go, and trust that the universe has a plan for you, because it does. Okay, so change is important. Release the past. Something coming up perhaps during this week that is going to be, you know, something from the past that you need to let go of, so that you can move into this new phase, so that you can let go of this I'm getting kind of like workaholic type energy coming through, or so that you can actually tap into the owl energy of being able to see through that, having the wisdom to know when enough's enough, sort of thing. We'll grab one more of these cards and then I'll get into the tarot, I think. So yeah. Oh no, I can't stop yawning. It's crazy. One more card. And then we have vision. Get clear on what you want. Alright, so maybe a little bit of confusion. You're overworking on things or overworking things. Sometimes it's overthinking things. That's what my guides just said to me then. Overworking, overthinking, just kind of overdoing something. But you find the wisdom to sort of step back and pull back into yourself this week. And maybe go on a holiday if you're really lucky. I'll tell you what I could do with a holiday. Not that I do much, but you know, a holiday from being where I am and doing what I do. You know, a change is as good as a holiday, sort of thing. I'd really love to be able to go to Adelaide and see my family and friends again, which is like interstate if you're from overseas. So if anyone wants to buy a reading or, you know, have a session with me or anything, then now would be a great time. I've actually got sales on and things as well. So, yeah, alright, so we have the Empress. So it's basically saying, like, you've got the world in your, well, I was going to say the world in your hands, but in this case it looks more like in your stomach. Like you're a creatrix or a creator is what I'm getting from this card in this particular reading. It's sort of like you have the power to create whatever you want. Why do you keep focusing on this one thing that's burning you out, when you could maybe find a different way, when you could maybe, you know, pivot, change, or do something different, and just let things kind of organically manifest the way that they're meant to. There's also, we have the Knight of Swords. I don't know if you can see that. It's all that there. So this guy's like running, so I don't know. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of representing that energy that's, you know, where you're being told to take a break from whatever it is that you're being told to take a break from. Somebody running towards a motorbike, so like in a hurry to get something done, and that thing is something that's like long term, and it's not something that you need to hurry for. The more you try to hurry, the more sort of pressure you put on yourself, and the more things are going to kind of go wrong, I think. The wheel, so the Wheel of Fortune, so big change coming in for you guys, the end of a cycle, the end of this energy, the end of this running energy or runner energy. It could be that too. Just embracing your inner wisdom or your trust in the universe instead of trying to run. Oh, thanks, Dawn. Instead of trying to run towards things that just aren't you know, that just aren't doing it for you, or aren't fulfilling, or are tiring you out. It might not be something that's, you know, what would the words be? What would the best way to be best way to put it be? So it doesn't necessarily have to be something bad. Like I said, it could be a workaholic type thing, some project that you're really into, but you just can't kind of put it down. And by not putting it down, it's kind of getting wrecked a bit because you're pushing too hard. I feel like this is changing, as I say. All of these cards speak of change. So yeah, so like this card here, the 5 of Wands we have, this is the energy of competition. It's the energy of fighting for something, you know, feeling like you have to fight for the position that you're in, or the position that you want. So this is a very tiring energy, especially if you're highly energy sensitive, or an empath, or an introvert, or something like that. You know, someone who doesn't like to have to put out, or doesn't have a lot of energy. Like I'm getting also human design, like the projector aura. They are not people that have a lot of energy, right? And this is sort of like, it's almost like this energy of feeling like you've always got to prove yourself, or you've always got to kind of like up the ante to keep going with whatever it is, and that is very tiring energy, no wonder. And then we have the Lovers. So this could be about an energy connection, a love connection, or it could be something else, but this is like putting it to rest. This, whatever it is, it could be like that you're being triggered or something like that in this energy, in this connection. For those of you who aren't in a connection, obviously this could be like something to do with inner healing as well, you know, like finding unity within your masculine and feminine energy, finding that balance, so that you're not constantly feeling like you need to prove yourself to other people. This is actually what I'm getting. I don't know, the Lovers have come up, but it doesn't feel relationship related to me. It feels more like something to do with work or business or school or something like that, you know, like, or even like a social situation where it's constantly just you kind of feel like you've got to prove yourself to people to keep a place in their life, or keep your position at work or something like that. That's sort of more the energy I'm getting here. But however that works, the message that's coming through very strongly is just to sit within yourself, be the magnet instead of chasing after things. Things that are meant to stay with you don't, you know, you won't always have to keep proving yourself. You won't be tiring yourself out with this energy. Just maybe the Lovers is here to just remind us to love ourselves and sit within that energy instead of constantly trying to work on whatever it is or put out that energy. Yeah, the next card we have is the 7 of Pentacles, which basically just sort of backs up that message. It's focusing on growing your own sort of, if you can see that, it's sort of, yeah, like focusing on growing your own energy, investing in yourself, I would say. This guy's sort of using, it looks like energy healing to kind of grow the roots of the little plant that's got lots of seeds that are pentacles. So this could be something to do with finances and things like that, but for the most part I think it's just something to do with a social situation. It could be relationship related as well. Do my guides have any more messages for group 1? I'm just thinking, looking at the cards here. So specific message for anyone who's sort of like got that relationship thread running through here. If this to you sounds like something to do with a relationship or a connection that you're in, the message here is like the the energy of this kind of fighting, whatever it is, it could be getting triggered, it could be feeling like, I don't know, you have competition or something like that, is changing. It's changing from that to this, where this is like a very sort of strong connection. Yeah, that was just something else that came through. I thought there was going to be more, and then it just stopped. The stream just stopped at that point. So yeah, that's only for some of you though. For the rest of you, this is just about, you know, stopping whatever it is that you're doing that's tiring you out, and, you know, giving yourself a break, basically focusing on investing in you, and putting your energy into you instead of trying to constantly prove that, like, you need, or constantly fight, or constantly put energy into something that sort of needs you to back away from it. Okay, so group 1, that was your messages for this week. That was your reading for this week. Hopefully it resonated, or, you know, you got messages from there that are going to be helpful for the upcoming next 7 days or so. This is also a timeless reading, although it is weekly. Whenever you come across it, the messages will probably still be relevant for you if you come across it, because that's how it works, basically. You find what you need when you need it. Yeah, anyway, I will get on with group 2. Hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Let me just find these cards. Group 2, we have the salmon of wisdom, and this beautiful shiny, I don't think it shows up much on the camera, but it's like really fine kind of mica or something inside this very dark coloured. It's got a greeny tinge to it, so I guess it's sort of like green sunstone or black sunstone or something like that. My guides are saying these kind of stones with the shiny stuff in them has to do with finances, money, that kind of thing, which, I don't know, I guess we'll see if that hooks into the rest of the reading. No worries, Dawn. Glad to have had you with me for the reading. So I'm going to read the salmon for group 2. Talking about salmon's making me hungry. I'm laughing because I'm such a cat person. I have to fight my cats over the fish. Okay, of all the totem beasts, this card is perhaps the most magical. The salmon represents the sun. The sum total of the shaman's quest for knowledge. For within the hazelnut in its mouth, which you may or may not be able to see on this camera, is contained the entire microcosm. Interesting message there. Already something's coming through here. So the salmon's yearly spawning, travelling thousands of miles to breed in a river, which gave it life, symbolises the shaman's journey. So that's like the hero's journey, which, if you don't know, it's kind of like the same story as in the tarot as well. It's like you start off as a beginner, and then you go through trials and tribulations and different things like that, and then sort of come out at the end at the Wheel of Fortune, like finishing a cycle. So it's very much that same sort of story, or, you know, life journey, really. Okay, sorry, I rambled on and went off on a tangent, didn't I? Now I can't find the place in the book. It symbolises the life of the shaman's journey through great depths and heights of the cosmos in quest of his true self. The struggle of the salmon shows how difficult this can be, and how perilous it can be if undertaken lightly. The card implies great magical and inspirational qualities. Alright, so I feel like with you guys, group 2, reading for people who are really deeply into their spiritual kind of journey, whether they know it or not. You know, people who experience dark nights of the soul, and who are going through ascension, perhaps, things like that. What stuck out for me is like the magic behind going through all of that what's the word? like the dark night of the soul type thing, and how like going through the dark night of the soul might be kind of pretty brutal. Well, it's not kind of pretty brutal, it is pretty brutal. If you go through ego deaths and stuff, and you don't just go through them once, you go through them many times for most people who are on that kind of journey. But it always sort of reaps treasure, brings treasure into your life, allows you to see different perspectives on things, and things like that, and it's all about coming back to yourself. So interesting messages so far. Let's have a look and see for group 2 what the Work Your Light Oracle has to say to you guys. Ooh, that really wanted to jump out, didn't it? Anna, the grandmother of Jesus. Grandmother of Jesus. The grandmother of Jesus. Seeding the light, laying foundations, a divine plan. Okay. I'm going to read out of the book for this one. I just felt like I needed to because I think it's got a message for you guys. I'm just going to clean my glasses. Alrighty. Oh, there we go. Wow, that came up really quickly too. Interesting. So Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, was an ancient mystic who dedicated her life to laying the foundations for Christ consciousness to be woven through all of life. She is not widely known, but without her, Christ consciousness would not be rising as it is today. Yeah, so as I said, people are pretty deep. An intense spiritual journey, I feel, as this is sort of coming up. Maybe it's for people who are just about to embark on one, or for you guys who've been, you know, doing the hard yards for a long time. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Sometimes my guides just make my mind go blank and direct me back to something else. So, Anna represents the quiet dedication that is sometimes required to live a life of service. She represents the generations that came before, that devoted their lives to dreaming a new world into being, while knowing that they would not see the glorious end result. So this is definitely for all my light worker, light warrior people out there. She represents the dutiful soldier and the unconditional mother, and the mystic who can see the thread that is woven through all life. Anna teaches us that we have a part to play in the divine plan. It doesn't have to be on the world stage to be significant. One person's part is not worthier than another's. One person's part may be to mother their children, another's may be to gather women in a circle each month. No part is better or worse, or more important or less significant. We each have within us the seed of light that we incarnated to share. Anna is gathering us all, sorry, I don't know why I can't read this. Anna is gathering us all to remember and surrender to our part of the plan. So this is about basically surrendering to the divine plan, your soul path, which might be, maybe you're kind of, I don't know, maybe you feel a bit off path at the moment, or maybe it's just being one of those times. I know for me yesterday was a massive emotional kind of breakdown after weeks and weeks of feeling like everything was really intense, and you kind of want to go, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But it seems like once you go to that place, you let it all out, you kind of process what's going on, that often you get a new lease on it, or a new wind. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out right. So yeah, like a second wind or a third wind or a 20th wind to go back and do it again, because you're cool, right? Your heart's calling you to go and walk this divine plan. So every time go through one of these intense moments, or these intense weeks or months or ascension shifts, or whatever you want to, however it works for you, whatever particular thing that you go through, dark nights of the soul and all of that sort of stuff. It always kind of brings you back to finding treasures of who you are and what you are and your soul path within yourself. So I feel like that's sort of, yeah, it's either coming up for you this week or it's starting to come up for you right now, like coming back to doing what you're meant to be doing, focusing on what you're meant to be focusing on. And when I say meant to be, it's like meant to be as in your soul path, what your soul wanted you to do when you know, what you agreed to do when you were incarnated here as part of, you know, the ascension, or my mind went blank, the ascension of the planet, and, you know, connecting in with Christ consciousness and all of that stuff. It's not like it's not a subject I don't talk about all the time, but for whatever reason my mind is blank. So we have the next card for you guys, which is Pleiades, a double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Whew, that's a lot of energy there. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, so a double mission. So some of you might be, this came up in a reading last week, I'm sure. Some of you might be here to do more than just one kind of light worker mission, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. I used to not really use the term light worker very often, but lately it just keeps coming up, so that's what it is. I guess it's what resonates with the people who will watch this. So yeah, whether it's channeling and uplifting humanity, or it's other things that are part of your path, that are part of your helping humanity and the planet to ascend, that's what's being called up for you this week. You're being really called and guided, I feel, to find this wisdom, to remember that you are part of this all kind of thing. And even though it might feel like you're a salmon trying to fight your way upstream a lot of the time, when you do actually get to where you're going, or when you do make a little bit of leeway with this energy and you start to feel the energy come back to you, it's always like a really yeah, it's encouraging, I guess, and it brings you back to where you're meant to be, or where your soul is calling you to be. Okay, so let's have a look at these Moon Witch oracles. I have the yawns. That means channeling quite a lot. That was a lot of energy that just came through there. That's kind of why I was stumbling over my words, because it was kind of hard to feel all that energy and then translate it into human language. The universe has a plan for you, so trust has come up for you guys as well. And maybe you guys are sort of like, you know, you're in that questioning your path because of that, how things have been. Basically, I don't know, the last week seemed really bad, but then again, it hasn't seemed great since, I don't know, December or so. Really, the energy's been quite tumultuous. It's just been really intense for a lot of people. So I feel like maybe a lot of you are getting to that point where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. Or that things sort of don't seem like they're going where you thought they would go, or where you'd hope they would go, or something like that. Basically, you are being asked to trust and remember that the universe does actually have a plan, even though sometimes it just sort of doesn't seem like it. It has been so intense, hasn't it? Oh, yeah. Just thinking about it, like, it seems a lot calmer today. I don't really know why, but, you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. But yeah, up until yesterday, it just kind of feels like, that's why I was having a salt bath before I came on here, because I just really needed to clear my energy and, you know, detox a bit. I've actually got this is going to sound bizarre, but I've got castor oil in my belly button right now to kind of like draw out stuff from that area as well, from the sacral chakra. A lot of energy clearing going on with me right now. So yeah, the intensity. Hopefully you're feeling a bit like things are calming down a bit as well. Where am I? Okay. Where am I? Alright, familiar. Listen and learn. So there's something coming up that, you know, somebody might be showing you something or telling you something that you would normally just go, alright, whatever. But maybe it's something that you kind of need to listen to this time, or you're just going to pick up on something that's being said or whatever, and it's actually something that's going to help you learn, it's going to help you sort of, how can I put it? It's going to help you advance in the way that you're heading, kind of thing. I'm gonna have a drink. Oh God, I can't talk. That energy just knocked me crazy. Oh. Didn't make my ear ring though, which is good. Okay, so yeah. Whew. So learning, listening, something that's going to help you to remember to come back to yourself, to come and you know, focus more on this mission that you came here to do, more of an energetic or spiritual perspective perhaps. I feel like this could be someone who's a bit you know, that way inclined, like a spiritual mentor or something like that, or it could just be some random person that you hear talking and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, that reminds me of what I'm meant to be doing, and all of a sudden you're off on a new thread and back to doing what you want to, not what you want to do, but what your soul desires. And that's so much more fulfilling than doing what your ego desires, really. Even though sometimes it can be a bit of a trick. So the next message we have is yes, just go for it. Alright. Interesting. I don't know what that is exactly about, but maybe you guys have something specific that's an answer to. Let's see what else we've got here. Oop, one more jumping out at me now. Hecate. Change is important, release the past. She came up in the last one too. I'm not surprised though. Sort of like, you know, we get these continuing themes throughout readings sometimes, or it's just like a collective thing that everybody needs to be reminded to release the past. There's something from the past that, you know, might be holding you back from going to where you want to go or doing what you want to do, causing strife in your life. What else have we got? 13, divine feminine, step into your power. So yep, definitely. Actually, as I read that and I put that down, I got a huge shiver, sort of like stepping into yourself, remembering who you are through, you know, through doing your mission, through focusing on your spiritual work, through focusing on, you know, your soul fulfillment, or fulfilling your soul mission or purpose, your life purpose. Even though it might have been, or it I'm not even going to say might, it has been really intense, and I feel like, you know, that's how it is these days sometimes with the energy. Hasn't stopped since I noticed it anyway, like 2016, probably 2012. It started to be a very big thing where people noticed in the collective that energy was different, and sometimes it would be really intense. I was looking through my memories on Facebook earlier, and I remember seeing something from like 2015 or something like that, saying, and it was a post from me or like a kind of an exchange between me and a friend, talking about how the energy is crazy, and my kid was going a bit nuts at that time. There was only a little boy, and her child was also kind of like being affected by it, and yeah, it was very interesting to see back that far, because sometimes I don't remember, but yeah, it really does. Yeah, I feel like something's shifted for sure. I was just staring at the computer going, I can't see that properly, and then I realised I still have my reading glasses on. So yeah, 13, divine feminine, step into your power. I feel like the more you do this kind of work, the more that you work with energy, the more you step into your power, because you're getting closer and closer to your, you know, your core radiant vibration, and that's the thing that will always keep you going. I feel like I need one more card from this deck, and then we'll go into the tarot. I love the way this card was saying, what was it saying? It was saying like what your mission is. It doesn't have to be like some grand gesture. It's sometimes it's like staying home and looking after your kids, or doing something, you know, quite normal, but that's your thing. So it's not always about, you know, like channeling and stuff. It's just doing that one thing that really, really fulfills you. My guides just kind of pointed that out to me. So, you know, if you feel, if you get that feeling like maybe you're not doing enough or something like that, but you're doing something that's really fulfilling, or that you enjoy, or you feel like that's what you're meant to be doing, then, you know, don't second guess yourself and think that you have to go and, I don't know, start a YouTube channel or something. No, I'm just being silly and picking on myself, but like, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't always have to be up in lights. Sometimes it can be behind the scenes, someone who supports other people with their energy, or you know, things like that. So yeah. Next message from this card, this deck, please. Alrighty, what have we here? True North, stay true to yourself. I like that. That's really cool, and it's a good message. It belongs with this, the rest of these cards, I think, and this energy that's coming through here. So let me just I'll leave these up a little. And then, oh geez, nearly knocked an entire deck of cards down. Oops. There's not a lot of room on this desk. So, spatially challenged, I think. That's probably a good way to put it. Alright, let's have a look and see what the tarot says. Give them a tap. Can you give me some messages for group 2? Wow, that was a lot that just jumped down straight away. Okay, 8 of Pentacles. See, this is like putting in the work, right? This person is obviously very focused on what they're doing. It kind of looks like. Let's have a look. Uh-oh. There they go. They're all about to fall down. Bear with me. Just don't want to lose this deck, because then I won't be able to pull some cards from it for the next reading. So I'm seeing books, I'm seeing study, but I'm also seeing like, I feel like this is about learning a craft or learning something. Someone's been, well, you guys specifically have been putting in the work to like learn your craft. So whatever your craft might be, learn your whatever it is that's sort of to do with your mission, your soul path. And I feel like it's kind of, you know, it's Page of Pentacles energy. So it's like putting a lot of effort in, putting that work in, and then starting to see the rewards. It's not like, you know, you're getting heaps of money for it or anything like that. It's just sort of like, and it might not even be financial. If it's if it's spiritual, it's probably not financial at all. It's probably like energetic rewards and stuff like that. You know, being able to how can I put this? Being able to overcome triggers instead of react to them and things like that. Finding more comfort, finding more trust in the universe and your path and all of that kind of thing as well. But whatever it is, I kind of, part of me feels like, for some of you, I guess, it's like some of you are working on learning your craft or learning more about your, I don't know why I keep saying craft. Probably got to do with, like, you know, witchcraft, but like learning about your path, learning about maybe you're an energy healer, or maybe you're a psychic, or maybe you do some other kind of work. This person obviously does something creative, like there looks like there's herbs in here, so herbalism, or I just feel like it's like an alternative therapy type thing. It might not be, it could be something else completely different, but for a lot of you that's what it is. And you kind of, you're still learning. You're learning a lot about it right now, or you've been putting an effort in to learn about it, and you're sort of starting to see, I don't want to say rewards, because I don't really think that you get rewards, not the way that most people think, like you do the right thing and you get a reward. Just doesn't work like that in real life, I don't think. Or not that I've ever encountered anyway. It's sort of like you level up energetically, you level up emotionally, and that's your reward, is to be able to be more emotionally stable, or more energetically aligned, or something like that. And then for some of you, I feel like this is, yeah, like you've already done the work and you're kind of watching, you're waiting, you're seeing what's happening, kind of thing. Then we have the Ace of Wands. So this is all about inspiration. So putting in all this work, or this learning, or kind of like expanding your consciousness into new and different things. That's what this is giving me now with this Ace of Wands type thing. So this is the beginning. Perhaps you're beginning something new. Maybe it's like a new kind of phase of life, or something like that. I guess that's sort of true for most of us at the moment anyway, because it's been Lunar New Year, which is more kind of like New Year than New Year. I don't know quite how that works, but it does. The energy feels like that. It's like it's kind of been really almost like a push to finish off all of this stuff before the next section, you know, so that you've got a clean slate. I feel like this is inspiration, so something new coming in, something you're thinking about doing, or, you know, using these skills that you've gained to begin something new with this inspired energy, and moving away from troubled waters. Like, that's so cool. Sort of like you using this energy to leave behind what needs to be left behind and go forward into something else. Let's have a look and see what else we got for group 2. There we go. A couple more messages here. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is, you know, being stable, more stable, I feel like, in the earthly realm. It might be financially, it might be just feeling more stable. I feel like you're moving into a more stable, more sort of queen energy, if that makes sense. So like, not kind of going down that road of insecurity and all that sort of stuff. Like, you've leveled up to be sure of who you are and all of that sort of thing, so you don't tolerate any shit, basically. You're not tolerating any shit. You're moving away from whatever trouble and that kind of thing might be coming up for you, or would have come up for you in the past, but now you're just gonna, you know, say, no, I'm not dealing with that, thank you. And then we have the Sun, and that, I think, is probably a great conclusion to this reading. So the Sun, obviously, lots of good energy, happiness, wish fulfillment, that kind of thing coming in. So yeah, I feel like this is sort of like starting a new phase, leaving a lot of stuff in the past and focusing on, you know, like the light, focusing on source, focusing on your soul, focusing on your spiritual mission, perhaps. So this is going to come in for you this week, group 2. Amazing energy coming through here. I wish I could kind of like transmit the energy through. I'm sure I probably don't get as many vocal messages through as I would like to, because there's so much energy that came through with this reading. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful to you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let me just go on to group 3. Now group 3, oh, here we go. Group 3. Unfortunately, I dropped your crystal under the desk. It's always one group that loses their crystal under the desk. Okay. So the boar, where am I reading? What's this gone now? Let me just read this for you guys. Group 3, if you chose this one, or the lace agate, which you cannot see because it's under my desk. I dropped it on the floor. Then this is your reading. Let's find the boar. Okay, so the pig in general and the boar in particular are powerful and always fearsome opponents. They're generally magical beings and often oracular, so they can tell fortunes and tell the future. They're oracles. This is in Celtic mythology too, by the way, not necessarily like, you know, what we think these days, or Chinese astrology or anything like that. This is just, you know, the Celtic oracle, yeah. So it's from the Celtic oracle, so yeah. There is a strong tradition of the inexhaustible pig, which is killed and eaten and returns to life the next day. The underlying theme, therefore, is unending bounty, in this case strength. So, yeah, that's an interesting message. Talking about how, you know, being strong. I'm getting that kind of like bear, you know, the mama bear kind of vibe as well from this, but also that it can be, you know, seeing the future, and also it's like the unending bounty is what kind of showed up for me or popped out for me when I was reading that. So I'm going to grab some of the Work Your Light Oracle cards and see what other messages are coming through. My brain just says, yep, that energy is basically just like the don't fuck with me energy. That's what I'm getting here. So Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. I had to read that twice because it sounded hilarious when I tried to say it out loud. So the Akash. Interesting. I've been getting messages to record some Akashic reading, meditations and things like that, to help people kind of connect with things that they might not normally have access to. And then you've been training for this for lifetimes. The Age of Light. I'm going to read the Akash. Akashic. The Akash. I don't know. However you want to say it. Your guidance is divinely guided. So, I feel like, yeah, there's messages coming through you or through to you. It's got to do with this kind of the boar energy here. Let's have a look and see what this card actually says. The Akash. Where's it gone? It's not coming up like the other one that I read. That came up real quick. Showed itself. There is a thing here that tells me what page it's on. Alrighty. Gosh, 114. Right. There we go. I think that's the last card. So Akasha exists in the fifth dimension and the Library of Souls. All soul contracts, history, gifts, lessons and more exist here. We each have access to this information of the past, present, future, and can tap into it at any time. While we have free will, there are also points on the timeline of our lives that are predestined or pre-planned. Soul contracts or agreements that were made before incarnating. It could be a company you choose to work for, a relationship you plan to have, or a person you agreed to mentor or help. Whatever it is, know that it is divinely guided and will not bypass you. If you are waiting for a sign to proceed, this card is it. If you are likely living out an important part of your soul's journey, and you are exactly where you need to be. This is a very exciting energy indeed. It is time to call in the support of your helpers, both in the physical and spiritual realm, to trust the signs that are coming in don't know why I'm having so much trouble reading that particular sentence. And to notice any feelings or visions that you receive, for you are tapping into the wisdom of the Akasha, and you are being given the go-ahead to proceed. Okay, that's interesting. I feel like, having read that and just kind of, you know, marinating in the energy of these cards, this is kind of a message about you getting messages, and the messages that you are getting are very important for you to listen to at this time, because they're coming directly from like the Akasha, or the Akashic records, or your Akashic records, or your soul, and they're guiding you to a certain place, or a certain situation, or a certain, you know, whatever, that however it works for you. You're being guided to do something, and I feel like it might have something to do with the Age of Light, that you've been training for this for lifetimes. So it's something, yeah, obviously it's, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Fated? Destiny? Something like that. Something that is going to happen that's like part of your destiny. It's part of how you're going to shape, or it's going to shape your life in some way, this week. And it's something that you've been training for lifetime. So it might be something that's very familiar to you. It might be something that sort of sits deeply in your soul. Let me just think. Yeah, I just feel like the message here, the biggest message coming through from these cards for you guys who chose group 3, is to really pay attention to any sort of feelings or guidance or messages or anything like that, that's coming from your intuition or from your soul, because it is actually sort of driving you to your destiny. I'm going to get into these Moon Witch Oracle cards now, and we'll see what else comes up. This is so fascinating. I really like this reading so far. I think it's amazing. Okay, so mirror, mirror, the beauty in you, the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. This is what you've got. Mirror, mirror. Could be someone who is a mirror to you coming into your life. It could be you noticing and mirroring things in your particular, you know, in your situation. It can work a lot of different ways, like a reflection, some kind of reflection is what's coming through to me the most here. Let's have a look and see what else are the messages I have for group 3, and I'm a poet. And I didn't know it. Freya, you are worthy and you are loved. Okay, so just a little reassurance here, because sometimes I think, especially if it's something that is, you know, is part of your path, it's part of your destiny, but it's also guiding you to do something different than you would normally do, or go a different direction than what, you know, you've been sort of programmed to think is the right direction. That it can be a little unnerving, I think, following your intuition, especially if it's something that you don't do very often. You just kind of go along and do your own thing, do what you think, and how you kind of feel like it, I guess. Does that make sense? Like, it's sort of like we all have unconscious patterns, and sometimes we always default to them, whereas when you're stepping into and following inner guidance and intuition, it can feel kind of wrong in a way, because it's almost like it's just like deviating from that that default path that you usually walk, or that default way of doing things. So I think the guides here with this card are just kind of reminding you that you are worthy of whatever it is that this guidance is giving you, and that you are loved, and that sort of, you know, to encourage you to feel safe in making the decision or change or following the guidance that you are going to have coming through for you. Moonflower, bloom even, wow, more repeat cards. Bloom even if no one is watching you. I kind of feel with this card coming up for this one, it's sort of something that you're doing quietly, in secret, perhaps. Not in secret, but sort of, it's not something that you're doing in the public eye, following this guidance or following, you know, your soul path. It might be a little bit, the word clandestine came up for some of you anyway, but I feel like maybe it's just, you know, you're quiet about whatever you're doing, and it's just, yeah, just like, by staying quiet about it, it's somehow more potent what you're doing. That's just what my guides are saying. So yeah, I'm sure, I hope it will resonate with you guys, group 3. Let's have a look and see what other messages I have for group 3. Lunar eclipse, open the door to a higher dimension. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely something to follow, because it's going to, in the long run, help you expand your consciousness. And then we have Kali. Step into the unknown, do not be afraid. Wow, if that's not an appropriate card to come up for this message as well, I don't know what is. So yeah, step into the unknown and don't be afraid. So things coming up, you know, being guided to do something different than you would normally do, and something that feels unknown, something that feels strange perhaps. Obviously I'm not recommending anyone do something dangerous or anything like that. It's more about like, as I said, stepping out of those kind of default, going through the motion type things that we do every day, every week, you know. It might be like, you know, saying yes to an invitation to go to somewhere you've never been to before, or something, you know, it's as something is just, it seems normal, but it's like out of your realm. You wouldn't normally go out on that day, or something like that. But if you do, you're going to be finding that you're stepping into this new path, something along those lines. Like, that might be a specific message for some of you, but it's really just sort of like my guides are giving me that as an example to explain to you. It's not like, you know, we're not asking you to go bungee jumping or anything like that. Unless that's what your guidance says and you feel cool with it. But yeah, alright, so let's see what the tarot has to say for group 3 for this week about following their inner guidance, their oracle, their inner oracle messages. Wow, there's cards flying everywhere. Oh, that's too many. A few too many. This one came up, so we'll pop that one up there, and then I'm going to chuck these ones back in and shuffle, because that was like about 10, and I don't really want to, you know, read that many cards. Not right now. Alright, so the 9 of Cups. Moving towards wish fulfillment. That's a very interesting card to come up. So yeah, I feel like you're being guided. You're definitely being guided to something that's going to be very fulfilling. Let's see what else comes up. Then my guides are being quite circumspect about how much information they give me about this. So, you know, it's obviously something that you guys need to kind of, or that you know personally. It's like a personal thing maybe. Or you guys need to sort of like use your discernment a bit about it. More messages for group 3, please. Yep. Okay, so we have the King of Swords. So this is this kind of detachment energy, being logical about things and not kind of letting yourself get emotional or drawn into being over emotional about stuff. I feel like it's kind of like you, yeah, as I said, being discerning, right? So checking in with yourself all the time, I think, as well. Okay, that card just wanted to fly out at me. So we've got the Two of Wands. I don't want to take Two of Swords. The Two of Wands, so planning, strategizing, thinking about going somewhere or doing something. knowing that there's a big wide world out there, but not actually going out that window just yet. Not going outside of the safety of that spot. I feel like this is kind of like, this is where you are now. There's things that you want to do, places you want to go, people you want to see, but you're actually just thinking about it, you haven't done it yet. I feel like this week you're going to be guided to actually take those steps, whatever those steps might be, to step out of your comfort zone basically, and go towards something that is very fulfilling. It's like a wish fulfillment for you. So we have the Hanged Man. This is a bit of stasis happening here. I feel like this is kind of saying, you know, if you don't listen, then you'll just end up stuck in this cycle again until it comes back, and then you'll be listening, you'll know, you might actually step into it. So it's kind of like saying, don't stay stuck. Make sure that you are actually paying attention to your intuition or your inner guidance, or whatever messages come through. Like, some people see signs and stuff, you know, not necessarily I'm thinking about number synchronicity. Sorry, my mind went completely blank. Not necessarily things like, you know, seeing number synchronicities or whatever. That's something, but I'm talking about other signs. I'm talking about things like, you know, just things that you know mean something when you see them. And I don't know why that's coming up. I suppose some of you guys are like very clairvoyant perhaps, and that's how clairvoyance shows up a lot of the time, is like recognizing something as being a divine sign, or you know, a signal from your guides or something like that, as rather than just, you know, oh look, that's a cloud kind of thing. As other people might not, you know, notice, but you'll know at that time. That's too many again, come on. I just keep getting huge chunks of cards, and I only want a couple more messages for group 3, please. Messages for group 3. Well, there we go. There's a lot of cards coming up. Okay. The Hierophant. So, walking up those stairs to enlightenment. Hangman can also mean enlightenment, but it's enlightenment that comes from being, this is how I sort of see it anyway, it's like from being turned upside down, from things being turned upside down. So a bit of change coming through, and that sort of thing. And then we've got the 7 of Swords, which has come up. So, oh, hang on, no, alright, we're not taking, maybe we are, I don't know. I was going to not take the Lovers because I was like, that's come up in the other one as well, but you know, it's there for a reason. So I didn't know it was there when the 7 of Swords came up. So yeah, alright. So sort of, I feel like with the Hierophant, this is like attaining some sort of level of enlightenment, and this is what this is talking about, the Age of Light. Far out, now I've made the cards all messy. Yeah, so like walking up that step, walking up those stairs, and knowing that, you know, everything's kind of we don't need to take things as seriously if we trust in the universe. If you can connect to that part of yourself that's connected to the universe, that's connected to your sort of more expanded consciousness, and we all have that, you don't take things as seriously, you don't get as upset, you don't get as like emotionally twisted about things and get all caught up in the he said, she said stuff. I nearly started singing Limp Bizkit every time it happens. It's embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, so finding this light within, this light or expansion of consciousness is what I'm seeing here. And this is it, like you need to step out of that comfort zone for that to happen, because growth really only ever happens when you're uncomfortable. I know it's a terrible thing, but you know, that's what growing pains are, right? And then we have the 7 of Swords, so like sneaking. I don't know why this is coming up. Some of you guys are going to be sneaking away to meet with a lover, or sneaking away. It feels like sneaking towards, not sneaking away from someone else, but maybe it's sort of like something. Let me just dig into this. I feel like it's something that maybe you wouldn't, someone that you maybe wouldn't normally have a connection with, or something that you kind of want to keep under wraps, maybe for a little while for whatever reason. It's like you want to keep it a secret, so you'll be sneaking away to meet up with them and have some kind of rendezvous. That's what's coming through. That's the only way I can read it. It's got like, okay, so we were talking about, hang on, I just got another message. So we were talking about with the Akashic records and the boar, the energy that comes through with that. It's sort of like you're being guided to something that is your destiny, and I feel like this is your destiny, but it's something that you wouldn't normally do, or something that you need to kind of keep a secret about for whatever reason. You don't want everyone to know about it, right? So it's kind of a sneak off, but the reason that you're doing it is because you have these messages coming through, and you can see the light within this. You can see that there's a spiritual reason for it. It's not just something that you are going to be, you know, like wandering off to hook up with someone and not tell anyone or anything like that. Like there is actually a full reason. A full reason. It's a reason, like your soul is, it's part of your destiny kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's part of your destiny, whatever it is that, you know, that's drawing you into this situation. So that's really interesting, man. I'm going to keep reading this. I don't usually get such straight up messages, but yeah. So yeah, interesting. I think I'm going to leave it there. I would like to keep reading, but I just sort of feel like I need to stop now and refuel my energy and all that kind of stuff. So this has been quite a long time for me to be reading. So hopefully group 3 that resonated, and enjoy your rendezvous. Enjoy your sneaking away. I'm just trying to think see if my guides have any other messages that are not that message. Before I go and pack up these cards. Let me see. Mirror. What else do we get under here? Eclipse. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only message really that's coming through for me right now. Something that you've waited for a long time for. The Two of Wands is giving me this kind of waiting energy, something that you've been looking forward to perhaps, and kind of staying in stasis for. I actually am going to pull one extra card because I want to see, because I know that not all of you are, you know, in this view. Like this message might not resonate for you. You might not want a relationship. You might already be in one, and not be the kind of person that's going to sneak off with someone else, because that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, like, no, that's not what it says. But okay, so what have we got? We got Temperance. Let's see. Got Temperance, and what else have we got? Oh, there's too many cards. The Empress. Okay, so big feminine energy coming through. Temperance, which is just finding balance. And the Seven of Wands. Okay, let's see what that means. What messages have my guides and my intuition got for me on this for group 3? So there's this kind of, yeah, for the people who aren't in this situation where they're, you know, I mean, the Seven of Swords doesn't have to be sneaking away or trying to get away with something. That's sometimes what it means. But I feel like with this, you know, this Hierophant, this Hanged Man energy, this enlightened energy, and this extra kind of, you know, like fated or destiny kind of energy coming through. I feel like it's not sneaking away so much. It's just doing something on the quiet, if you know what I mean. No worries, Dawn. Thanks for hanging out for so long. Yeah, so it's doing something on the quiet. Maybe it's just because you want to see how it goes first and you don't want to be like telling everybody or whatever. But for those of you who aren't in this energy, I feel like it's kind of got to do with finding balance within, you know, like yourself, that masculine feminine unity energy, sitting back in this Empress kind of energy. The Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands always gives me this like protected from all of this extra energy and things sort of poking at you. I like to have a laugh and say there's so many sticks poking at you, people are poking a stick at you, whether it's like, you know, provocative energy trying to get your attention or that kind of thing. I feel like it's sort of like you're finding this balance somehow with the Hierophant by following your intuition, by following these messages that are going to come through that are divinely guided, and find this balance. But yeah, anyway, that could go on forever. We could go on reading this forever. You guys are great. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you got messages out of this that were helpful for you and will sort of, you know, pop up during the week and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what she said. And maybe I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, watching all of that stuff. And yeah, don't forget to like or subscribe. I've also got, you know, healing sessions and stuff as well if you're interested in those. Other than that, I will catch you next week. See ya.